So Dale Jr. is the biggest star NASCAR has ever seen. He currently has 18 sponsorship deals, has been in 2 movies, which include Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, and Hard. He's even starred in 8 music videos. He has earned over $50 million in career winnings and has landed over 150 magazine covers. He's presented it at both the MTV Movie Awards and the Country Music Awards. He even owns a bar in North Carolina called Whiskey River and a race team with superstar Danica Patrick as his driver. He even has 18 Cup wins. Dale Jr. pretty much has everything going for him. So today I want to describe for you the rise of Dale Jr. as NASCAR's most popular driver. I think I have a good understanding of NASCAR and Dale Jr. because I've been a fan of both for the past 8 years. I never missed a race, and I've been to 35 races in person, and I religiously follow anything to do with NASCAR. Dale Jr. is the most popular driver because of his dad, Dale Earnhardt, his Pepsi 400 victory, his personality, and his longtime sponsorship of Budweiser. Okay, that's his dad, Dale Earnhardt, and he's like one of the greatest drivers ever in NASCAR. He has 76 wins, a series tying 7 championships, and earned the nickname The Intimidator for his aggressive driving skills. His father died in a wreck at the Daytona 500, which is the first race of the season and the Super Bowl of NASCAR. Dale Jr. had to pick up the sport and felt the pressure from his sponsors. He had the possibility of having to run his father's race team, and he had to grieve in front of the public eye. Dale Jr. is constantly under pressure, as he is quoted as saying, "If this were basketball, imagine being the son of Michael Jordan, and then becoming a #1 draft pick after winning 2 consecutive NCAA titles. Imagine the expectation of the fans and the media as you join the best league in the world." Dale Jr. became a fan favorite after his father's death. Fans naturally clung to Dale Jr., and he became the sentimental favorite at every single race that entire season. Fans thought that since he was an Earnhardt that he could be as great as his father, and so he gained millions of his father's fans. Okay, this is a Pepsi 400 victory, and this was the first race back at Daytona since his father's death, and Jr. was the favorite to win the race and to honor his father. He wanted to win this race more than anything, as he was quoted as saying, Everybody knew that we'd be back at Daytona again in July, which was 5 months after his father's death. I wanted to go back. It's a great track with a lot of history, and I think I could not think of a better way to go back and win a race. Dad loves this place, and so do I. Dale Jr. had a dominant car the entire weekend. He led 116 of the 160 laps, and it showed what a great driver he actually is. And it came down to a 6-lap shootout with Dale Jr. in 7th after a pit stop, and a pit stop is when you make adjustments. And so he grabbed the lead with 4 to go and won the race. And then normally drivers go straight to victory lane, which is where the drivers celebrate and do interviews, but instead he went to infield grass, as shown here, and started and jumped out of the car and with all the cheering fans. And after the race, the reason he went to the infield grass is because he said it was such a great feeling, in fact, that he had to do something to let the joy out. So I drove right to victory lane. My chest would have exploded. So I decided to attempt a burnout and jump out to salute all the fans who were still standing and cheering. It was awesome. And it was a great race. It was voted the 5th greatest race by NASCAR.com and made CMT's show the 40 greatest moments at number 13. The effects of the Pepsi 400 win were it helped heal the sport and the fans. It gave everyone closure that they could move on, and it was a storybook ending to such an emotional race. As Dale Jr. says, this is as good as it gets. You can't write a better script. I never would have imagined this happening. I could have never imagined coming here being so dominant and winning this race. And I probably would never get to enjoy it because I just can't believe it happened. Okay, and his likable personality is another reason why he's really popular. He's relatable. He's a normal person like you and me, and his fans feel like he is one of them. And even though he's the most popular driver, he still likes the simple things and has not let his popularity change who he is. As he says, "My life is full of contradictions. On one hand, if you believe everything you read, I'm sort of rising superstar. I've been called the future of NASCAR. But on the other hand, I'm really a normal guy. I like nothing more than to hang out at my home, have a cold beer, and hang out with my buddies. But what I guess is I'm a normal guy who wants to stay that way." And he's also humble. He does not act better than others because he is an Earnhardt, and he appreciates the success of his family. But he still had to work for everything. He still had to work for everything he got. He never got anything handed to him. As he says, "I'm a member of my own generation. But I never figured I'm the son of a racing legend and the grandson of another racer, Ralph Earnhardt. Being the son and the grandson of these 2 tough guys definitely did not hurt my career, but don't think for 1 minute that I had everything handed to me." His Budweiser sponsorship is another reason why he was really famous. They pretty much promoted the heck out of him, and he was pretty much everywhere. And the reason Budweiser hired him to be their driver, according to Tony Pronto, the vice president of Anheuser-Busch's sports marketing, is they wanted to be able to re-energize our customers and our employees with a car that has a chance to win and run up front. Every week with a driver we could promote. So Budweiser pushed for, they have a large following, and they pushed for many different, big media deals. He even had an autobiography called Driver Number 8, and it pretty much showcased his entire rookie season and how he went through, and you got to see, the man underneath the helmet. And it was so popular, in fact, that it landed on the New York Times bestseller for 17 weeks. And he even landed MTV shows such as Cribs Twice, Driven, and True Life I'm a Race Car Driver. It took NASCAR to new levels, and it promoted the younger generation to watch NASCAR. And Budweiser even put his face and image on beer cans and posters and cardboard stand-ups in bars around the country. And it's safe to say Dale Jr. was everywhere. So, Dale Jr. is the most popular driver because of his father, his Pepsi 400 win, his personality, and his Budweiser sponsorship. This past December, Dale Jr. won the Most Popular Driver Award again for the 7th straight year. He gets the loudest cheers during driver's introduction, and he leads the sport in souvenir sales. Dale Jr. is the most popular driver NASCAR has ever had and will continue to be popular long after his driving career is over.
You gonna stop the tape?
No, I don't need to, because we don't even have it. We're missing our oral evaluator, so I'll just start talking, and we should have it. Okay. All right, Kimberly. The attention device is good. You've got some good statistic information and background stuff there. The topic's easy to identify. You've got the visual, of course, and we know from earlier situations your enthusiasm for the subject, so that I think works pretty well. You've got a very clear statement of what your claim is. Everything in the introduction is solid. The preview, I think the supporting points you chose are pretty good. Maybe a little bit more explanation about why, for instance, the Pepsi race in the intro is the one that you're going to be talking about. I thought you did an excellent job kind of giving us the context of his life and how he emerged as a driving favorite and how he's had an impact on NASCAR. You've got a lot of quotes from him. You've got experts from the sponsorship groups and from NASCAR talking about it, so there's a lot of good citation of information there. The summary, you've got the visual reminder at the end. I like that as a kind of reminder where we're going with this particular point. I thought all the visual materials were used pretty effectively, primarily as transition points to highlight key information. It's not like they explain something more about him, but they often move us to that idea that you're talking about. Maybe there's a little bit of visual reference when you're talking about his likability. There he is, smiling, signing an autograph, and all. I mean, okay, he seems like a pretty likable guy just from the visual image there. But then it's not just that you say that. You also point out that he's won this awards for 7 years in a row. That he's the favorite personality on the racing circuit. You've got other people who've talked about him. He talks a little bit about himself, and so you get some more context on it. So it doesn't seem all that, just self-referential in that situation. I think it worked pretty well. The main thing that I think you might want to work on a little bit is slowing down. I think that you're rushing the presentation, and instead of enjoying the experience, it comes across a little bit more like you're either maniacal about it or in a hurry to be done instead of savoring the opportunity to speak to us about that. And that's a technical thing that we're going to spend more time on the next round of speeches, because that's all about the presentation issues. All right, thank you.